Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jamie Lee, and I'm joined by my husband, Mr. Jared Lee. Hello, Jared.
Hello.
How are you this morning? Well, it is the morning, actually. When
You gave it away. We're recording in the morning. We don't normally record in the morning. I don't know the last time we did, but I'm good. I've had my coffee, and I'm good.
Great. Well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Right off the bat, here we go. What is your favorite time of year to visit Universal? And I mean, like, what season do you think that they do like the best? What do you enjoy the most?
I mean, they've come a long ways in their Christmas stuff. I do enjoy the Christmas stuff quite a bit. I think probably the most unique one to them would be like Mardi Gras, because it's just like the festival, and that's more in the spring. Honestly, I'm not going to complain about going to theme parks in, anywhere from now till April. It's like the best weather. But
yeah,
in terms of what they do, like I do enjoy what they do for Christmas. Like, it's different, like if you look at it compared to Disney, but they kind of have their own, they have their own way of doing it, and I've come to enjoy it. So what about you?
Yeah. Well, I think, obviously Halloween Horror Nights is their bread and butter.
Yeah, I was going to say Halloween. Yeah, probably Halloween. Sorry. I'm completely,
Well, but I've asked you, though, like what your favorite season is. So it doesn't necessarily have to be.
No, I would say, obviously, I think they do Halloween much differently. Yeah, I would say Halloween and Christmas is the ones I enjoy the most. Sorry.
Okay. Well, when you brought up Mardi Gras, I was like, oh, they do it really well. I mean, like with the parade, and you get to be on the parade float if you're an annual pass holder. It's more fun, good time having kind of thing. Halloween Horror Nights is obviously scary, still fun, but like Christmas is like fun, like with your family and like feeling
it's more chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I love Christmas in general more than anything in the entire year. So I would say Christmas. I mean, you've got Grinch, you've got Earl the Squirrel.
Yeah.
You've got all these like different mascots.
The tribute store is always cool.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of cool things. I do like Halloween Horror Nights. I like it. I don't love it. I like it. There's a difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably say Christmas too. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, we're talking about Epic Universe today. I am curious. So they announced that in Hollywood, they're doing their Super Nintendo World dressed up for Christmas. Like they're doing the star on top of the Nintendo star on top of a tree, and then Mario and Luigi have outfits. Like I do wonder. I hope they bring it to Epic Universe, but I'm curious what they will do for like holidays there. And like if they do anything for the different lands and stuff.
I don't know. But speaking of Epic Universe, that is what we're talking about today. We have no topic as far as like a review or anything. We're just literally talking about Epic Universe and the fact that we finally have an opening date, but we'll get to that.
We do. We have some other details too. Basically, this whole episode will just be everything we know about Epic Universe in terms of opening tickets and all that stuff they announced.
I'm going to say yes one more time.
Yes.
But first, we do have some housekeeping, and I'm going to throw it over to Jared.
Thank you. Yes. Well, if you're listening, but you'd rather watch us, or if you are watching us over on YouTube, you can watch the video versions of the podcast over there at CTM Podcast. So if you're watching there, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have, again, video versions of the show. We have clips, reels, all sorts of stuff you can check out there. And then also, if you're listening on just good old-fashioned audio podcast form that's been there, old reliable, as I like to call it, we greatly appreciate that. Just ask you to please subscribe and leave us a review on whatever platform you do listen on, as it helps us to continue to grow the show. And then, of course, if you want even more content, if you want to go to some meetups, you want some discounts on apparel and candles and things like that, you can go to ctmvip.com, which is our Club 32 page. Basically, it's like our own Patreon that we host on our end, but we have a bunch of additional content. We have live streams every week. We have Cool Kids Kitchen. We've got a bunch of extra shows. We have a podcast feed, a private podcast feed where all the content's on there, plus music loops, so we can always add things to those. Like we said, meetups that we do twice a year. Got one coming up in January. January is the next one.
Yep.
And then we have a private Facebook group. So if you got any like trip questions, like it's a great group because, most of these people go all the time. So not only will answer, but like other members answer all the time. So it's a great trip planning resource. And then you also get 25% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products. So if, Christmas gifts coming up and things like that, you can find some cheaper gifts on that end of things and all that. So if you want to go there, you can go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options. And if you do a yearly, you get a free T-shirt, very exclusive. And then if you want it, you can even do a free trial. Check it out and do the monthly option. So either way, you get something for free. But if you want to go join there, again, at ctmvip.com. And we want to join. We'd love to have you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
All right. Well, let's dive in.
Just jump right into it.
So last week, I think it was the 17th.
It was a Thursday. I remember that.
It was a Thursday. Okay. So I think it was the 15th. We got a social media post saying like something is coming on October 17th. And I was like, ooh, is this the announcement? Is it?
I figured it would be because there's nothing else to really tease other than when it's going to open.
Right. And it was. We have an opening date. The opening date is officially May 22nd, 2025.
Yeah. And before that, we had Wall Street Journal had an article saying someone had told them that they wanted Epic Universe open by Memorial Day weekend, which this does fall into that because Memorial Day weekend is the 26th or 25th.
It's the following Monday.
It's 25th or 26th.
22nd is a Thursday.
Yes. So this will be open for Memorial Day. So those, I don't know if you call them rumors, but the leaks, whatever, were true and when it went to open. And
I think it's a good time to open. What do you think?
I mean, I was looking at probably I was thinking earlier because there were the rumors out there was a land behind. And we had heard things like Steve Tatham, who is the creative head director of Epic Universe, had stated previously that they were going to open in the early part of 2025. So I'm guessing this may be a little later than they wanted, but it is earlier than what they had said previously. So for a long time, they just said summer of 2025.
Yeah.
Then they changed the verbiage to just saying opening in 2025. Some people thought that meant it was going to be later. I kind of thought it meant it opened him up to open it earlier. So while not as early as I had thought, May is not a bad time to open it. You're in time for like Memorial Day, the summer.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's a solid date. It's not, I was thinking if it was delayed, it'd be looking into like July or something like that. So
yeah, I was really hoping it wasn't going to be like the fall. I was like, oh, please do it before the summer. And they are. So that's good.
Yeah.
So real quick, what's in this park? What's in Epic Universe? What are the lands and all that stuff?
Well, yeah, for those that don't know, brand new theme park being built. It's 2 miles south of where Universal Studios currently is in this new area here. So they're going to have Celestial Park, which is like the central hub land, which is going to be, it's a completely, it's not an IP based off any movies. It's an original idea. It's based on like Greek mythology on some levels.
I'm actually really excited about this.
Oh, I am too. I think it's, I love the fact, and I talked about it other times too, like I like the fact that it's an original IP. Like it's just something that, and it seems very creative about some of the things they're doing in that land.
Well, and also too, like when you first walk in the park and you're in Celestial Park, and it goes basically from the front of the park to the back of the park, and then that's where Helios is. So it kind of divides the like 2 lands over on one side, 2 lands over on the other side. And Celestial Park is in the middle.
It's kind of like the spine of the park.
Yeah.
So it's like the hub, but
it's a butterfly.
Yeah, but inside of it, they're going to have like a really cool carousel, like very unique. And then they got the Stardust Racers, which is the big, most thrilling ride in the park. I would say is the dueling, racing coaster that they've got there. Then you're going to have Super Nintendo World, which I'm very excited about, which does include the Donkey Kong Country extension there. So it's going to have that. You've got Dark Universe, which is based off the Universal Monsters, Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, and then How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk are the lands that are here.
Yep. And Karen Irwin, president and COO of Universal Orlando Resort, she said, "This is such a pivotal moment for our destination, and we're thrilled to welcome guests to Epic Universe next year. With the addition of this spectacular new theme park, our guests will embark on an unforgettable vacation experience with a week's worth of thrills that will be nothing short of epic. Our universe will never be the same."
Man, that is that's a very branded phrase.
Yes, it is. So certain tickets and packages will start going on sale starting Tuesday, October 22nd.
Yes, so this had already been known that the way that they're doing these tickets. So we talked about months ago that they said they were going to, the initial ticket offerings were going to be part of a package, like 3 or more nights. Those tickets were going to get priority, and then other tickets would go on sale at a later date. So that is what they're doing here, which we can talk about in a minute what we think about that. But so the ticket packages that will go on sale I don't know if you mentioned this. So the park's opening May 22nd, and then, like you said, tickets go on sale October 22nd.
Right.
So 3-day ticket says enjoy 2 days of access to Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure, plus 1 separate day admission to Epic Universe. And they run $118 to $174 per day, which would be about $352 to $521 total there. Then they have a 4-day ticket, like same thing here. Enjoy 3 days of access to Universal Studios Florida, Islands of Adventure, plus a separate day at Epic Universe. And then they have a 5-day one as well, which is the same thing about you get 1 day at Epic Universe. So any of these ticket packages are going to have 1 day at Epic Universe, which I know right off the bat a lot of people are not going to like. And then they have a create your own package. So it's a save by bundling a 2-night or longer stay at a Universal hotel with one of the multi-day ticket options that they were listed above. Guests can receive the maximum savings of $200 on a 7-night vacation package that includes a 5-day ticket that includes 4 days to basically the existing parks.
And Volcano Bay.
And Volcano Bay, plus a single day at Epic Universe. 7-night hotel accommodations at one of Universal's 11 hotels. Early park admission for Epic Universe, Volcano Bay, and either Universal Studios Florida or Islands of Adventure up to an hour before the park opens. And then they did go on to say other ticket types like single-day tickets or other multi-day tickets, Express Pass and Annual Pass. Epic Universe add-on options will be available at a later date before the park opens. So I know right off the bat, people are not going to like hearing you get 1 day at Epic Universe. And the reason, in my opinion, from what I've talked to a few people, and I think that we're doing this, is they are dead set on not doing a park reservation system. Mm-hmm. Like they do not want to do it. It is basically like we're not doing that. So really, with this much demand for it, at least anticipated demand, obviously nothing has been sold yet, but this is a lot of people are looking very forward to this theme park. So they're just going to, limit the amount of people that are going to be coming to Epic Universe. So they've got date-based tickets for this. But I will say from what their verbiage that they've said is, my guess is you are going to be able to add on single-day tickets to Epic Universe, but just part of these packages are going to limit to a day. Because we have another one about if you're an annual pass holder, on the 24th, you're going to be able to purchase a single-day ticket to Epic Universe before the general public. So that leads me to think, so if you can do that 2 days later after the initial ticket packages go out there, then soon after that, they're going to have single ticket options that are available. And Universal did say that for the annual pass holders, the week of the opening, they have reserved a certain amount of tickets for annual pass holders. So they're definitely allocating certain percentages of tickets for, say, people that are coming for a week, which I get. They're prioritizing people that are wanting to come for a week and stay on property. They're going to spend more money. Yeah. And really, that's what they're trying to push as they compete with Disney more, is if these people are going to come stay for 3, 4, 5, however many days, we're going to give them priority. I get it from a business standpoint. Yeah. Then you open it up to your APs, and then you open it up to the general public to get single-day tickets, because they don't want just to sell out of the park and it's just a bunch of single-day tickets. They would much rather, obviously, the people that are going to come stay, give them access. So I think that's what it's going to be. So I don't necessarily think it's going to be as, like, I understand about the ticket packages not having more than 1 day, but I do believe you'll be able to add on, even onto a package, probably a day at Epic Universe, depending on the demand. It definitely depends on how much it sells.
Yeah. Everything that I'm hearing on social media, everything is that, people are like, I would like to go more than 1 day.
I think you
could absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Because when they sell single day tickets, you can buy multiple single day tickets if you want. You can do that for annual pass holders. You can do that if you are just a, non-pass holder or just whatever. So they will have that option. It's just there's no package to make it like cheaper if you add on days. It's just going to be like, we don't know what the prices are for a single day ticket, but
I'm assuming,
for opening week,
it'll be $100, mid-hundreds probably, if not more.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you're going to hit 200, but I think you're probably going to hit mid 100s, things like that.
So if you're willing to spend, single day tickets, like if let's say you want to go 3 days, if you're willing to spend, say, $450 per person to do that, then you can do that. Or you can wait until they release other package options. But again, especially that first week in summer, since summer, is a good time for, families to go. I don't know if you're going to be able to find a lot of availability. Things may be maybe selling out. We
a lot
don't
of
know.
it, yeah, a lot of it we just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I think the opening week is going to be the one that's the busiest. So, I mean, I would love to go opening day. I just don't know, on the 24th and the single day tickets go on sale for annual pass holders. I don't really know how that's going to work. I don't really know. Have they said what time the tickets go on sale?
They never do.
Yeah, it's like probably 6 or 7 a.m.
But it's all done through the app. Like you have to go into the app and you can buy your tickets there.
Yeah. So I was going to say, if you are an annual pass holder, you do want it to go, I would make sure all your payment stuff and everything's linked in your app before the day of, because the last thing you'd want to do is run into an issue when you're trying to get it and you got to hit up support and then you maybe don't get tickets or things like that. So
we should probably do that too, just to make sure.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's happened a few times with us doing stuff like that. But that's what they announced on there. And now, how do you feel about it? Do you think it's a good idea in terms of how they're doing it, in terms of like prioritizing the vacation packages, giving you a single day?
Yeah. I mean, obviously you want people to come to Epic Universe, but also don't forget about your other parks, because there's going to be a huge influx of people going to Epic, and the people that might have wanted to go, let's take a vacation to Universal. Oh, wait, Epic's opening? Let's just do a bunch of that. Well, they're like, hold on, not so fast. Let's make sure we're covering the rest of the parks too before, Epic Universe. But I think it'll be busy, obviously, for a while at both, I guess, 4 parks that they have, including Volcano Bay. So I think it'll be really busy the way that they're doing those tickets. But again, when they open up ticket packages that are different, like adding say 2 days of Epic or whatever, I think that that's going to be even harder to find availability, because I don't know when. They said before the park opens, so I don't know when that'll be available.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it, again, from a business standpoint, and also there's so much demand for this in terms of they want as many people that want to go to Epic Universe as they can. So instead of a certain group of people basically I'm not going to say hogging up the park is probably not the best term, but say they go 2 or 3 days and it makes it where other people can't go. So they, as much as I'm guessing you won't be able to do everything at Epic in a day, I don't know. But I think it's probably going to take multiple days at least to do most of it, walk around, check out a brand new theme park. But, they want as many people that want to come can at least come experience it once. And then, as they're offering the single day options and things like that, or the single day tickets, if you don't want to do a park reservation system, you have a very highly anticipated theme park. This is kind of how you should probably do it, date-based tickets, and then you're really prioritizing the people that want to come stay on property for longer. So as much as if we don't get to go opening day, I want to be there, I do understand it.
We can go opening day.
Well, I'm saying if we can't get tickets is what I'm saying.
I don't think we'll have a problem.
Well, either way, it's just one of those things where you're not going to make everybody happy. You're trying to do what you can to, and really this is very unprecedented uncharted waters for them and really anybody else, because the major theme park on this level hasn't opened in Orlando in over 20 years.
Right.
And so since Animal Kingdom opened, theme parks are much different now. The demand's much different. So trying to deal with all that and I'm sure that's a stressful thing on its own, trying to figure out the best way to go about this. But so again, we kind of knew this because it's essentially had said this is how it was going to go months ago. And so they're at least sticking to that. But I think tickets will probably, single day options will be on sale quicker than a lot of people anticipate. Because I think they're probably just going to see how many packages do people buy. That's probably what it really depends on. How many people come in and buy packages. If a ton of people do, they're not going to have as many single day options. If not as many people do, then they'll obviously open more up. So I think that's probably dependent upon how many they sell on the 22nd.
Yep. For sure. Again, we just don't know enough. We do know that they will be doing some kind of previews for pass holders. The verbiage that they gave was kind of vague, but it did allude to the fact that they will be doing that.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. A lot of people have that question, and the things I've been hearing is that there will be multiple months of AP previews. And so in that email they sent out, it did say be on the lookout. Actually, I have the exact verbiage.
March, April, May, I think is a good time frame, or they'll start at least in April. But yeah, I think if you're a pass holder, and I know there's a lot of pass holders out there, so that's why we're really going to talk about this, but I think that if you're worried about getting the opportunity to go when it first opens, I think with previews and the fact that we can buy the 1-day tickets early, plus they said they will have you can add on Epic Universe to your annual pass to make it like encompass like all of the parks.
Yeah.
That will be available. It's just not right now. So
yeah. So basically, I can't find the image. The verbiage was something about be on the lookout for or get email alerts for soft opening opportunities for annual pass holders. So, I've thought that all along. They're going to do an extended amount of previews because first off, that's what Universal tends to do anyways. And they're
technical rehearsals,
and they're always really good for their APs. They treat the APs very well. And so also too, it's a brand new theme park. You're going to want a bunch of people going through that park before it opens up to the general public, stress testing it. And there's always issues that you don't think about until you get people into a park and you go, oh, this bench here messes with crowd flow, whatever it is, training team members, ride systems, all these things that they want to test out before opens to the general public. The best group to do that is your annual pass holders because they're not going to be mad if they get stuck on a ride because they're just happy to be in the park. So I think it's a pretty good compromise in terms of if you're going to get annual pass holder previews, plus you're getting the opportunity to buy a single day ticket, upon park opening. I think that's a pretty solid compromise in terms of trying to appease the APs and also this group of people that are potentially coming into the theme park.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad about it. I'm very curious when they'll start them, and how long they'll go on for.
It's just an interesting way to roll it out. But this is totally new territory for us because we've never done what we do now when there's been a brand new theme park opening like this.
Yeah.
So this is again uncharted territory, and we're just kind of like wading through it. So
yeah,
we'll see. But
I think a lot of it will depend. I am curious after the initial sales, like when they announce more stuff, like that timeline, because I feel like it'll be pretty quick. I don't think they're going to let that linger in terms of you build up this hype and then more information follows after it. So
I would say maybe. Actually, I'm not gonna guess. I have no idea.
I mean, it's just one of those things we don't know. It's just guessing at this point. But
also, so reservations for Universal Grand Helios Hotel will also open on October 22nd for stays beginning May 22nd. So that is when the hotel is opening. First day opening will be the first day of when the park opens, which makes sense because it is, connected to the park. So, obviously.
For those who know, that's the in-park hotel. So that's,
So anyway, but also, what did the website show and then they took it down?
Well, I think I know what it is, but the day that this stuff released, and you found it, it didn't have Helios price listed, which we've been guessing at how much it's going to be. I was always assuming $500, $600 plus, because it looks like a very nice hotel. Plus, it's connected to the park. You can walk right in, all those things. But the website showed on the comparison tool, and it said starting at, and it had the starting at price at $293 per night, which I was like, what? That is way cheaper than I thought. But I do believe that this is when you book it as part of a big, probably like a 4-night stay or longer.
7
nights. Okay.
7.
Then it breaks down to $293 per night. So I'm guessing a single night is still going to be quite pricey.
Yeah.
I don't think they've released that single night pricing or anything like that. But
nope.
If you are going to stay a longer period of time, you will be able to stay there for under $300 a night, which for that level of hotel
that's at the most value.
That is the most
season though. So not at the beginning
for sure. And starting out like hotels, it depends on demand. So busier times it's always more expensive. Slower times it's cheaper. But at least that's what it showed on the site. So that was they did take that part down because I think a lot of people obviously started seeing it and talking about it. And that's not going to be the price you're going to pay for a single night, more than likely, would be my guess.
That's, again, the very most value season for a ticket package where you are staying at least a week. And that's the very lowest. So, yeah. But 400 plus, it would be probably what you're looking at.
But I will say, Universal, one of the smart things they've done in their, I guess you could call it their battle with Disney over the past, 5-6 plus years, is they basically have they've built new hotels, but they have competitively priced them to where they're cheaper. I mean, they're, staying at Dockside or Surfside is a lot of times cheaper than any of the surrounding hotels. Definitely cheaper than Disney's value hotels.
It's still cheaper too.
And
so years later,
they were willing to, I guess you could say, take quote a hit on the hotels to get more people to come over and stay at them, even if they're going to Disney, thinking, hey, they'll come maybe for a day or two at the parks and check it out, because they're just trying to get more people to come to the Universal Park. So I think that's been a really good strategy in terms of having more reasonably priced hotels. And then obviously, of course, you're talking about if you stay at the premieres, you get, certain ones now. They try to change the category there, but you get access like to Express Pass and things like that to use in the parks. Now, one thing to mention, as far as I understand, Helios is not going to have Express Pass. Now, I don't think...
Right.
And that's something that I found interesting. I'm not too shocked. I don't believe, unless they change it, I don't think Epic will probably have Express Pass when it first opens. It may. They did say something about that some of it could. Now, I think they could do some rides have a Express, but the really more, the ones they think are going to be more in demand will not. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But as of now, Helios not having Express is interesting because I figured if they're not going to offer it at Epic, I figured you'd be able to then use it at the other existing parks, but that may not be the case here. I guess they maybe figure the access to Epic Universe being where you can just walk into it, all that may be a perk enough, but that's something to just keep in mind that I don't know if Helios is going to be included in that.
Okay. Also another hotel that's close to Epic Universe, Terra Luna Resort. The opening date has been pushed back to March 25th.
Yeah, we know this because we've been booked to stay at Stella Nova and Terra Luna since you were able to book it. So when's Stella Nova opening?
Stella Nova's opening January 21st.
Okay.
And Terra Luna was supposed to open February 25th.
Yes, but we got a call yesterday, and they're basically saying it's being pushed back to March 25th. So
because they didn't say that. They said we need to modify your resort or your reservation because the dates that you booked are no longer available. I was like, okay. So, and they said we'd like to move you to March 25th, or we can move me to the same dates to Stella Nova. And I was like, oh, March 25th.
Yeah. Well, and then also if you look on the website, you can't book anything in the period of time like you could before. So, which, I mean, isn't a big deal. I mean, this hotel was further behind than Stella Nova, and the park's not opening till May. So, I don't really think it's much of an issue that this one's opening a little bit later. Yeah. But that is the case. If you are wanting to stay there, it's going to be March 25th before, any of the stays can happen there. But I am excited to try these out. I mean, these are value plus, I think is how they categorize these.
Yes.
So it's very similar in concept to Dockside and Surfside. If you look at those and how they're right next to each other, very similar offerings, very similar theming, but just in different subtle ways. Same thing with this one, but it's not they don't have any suites like Dockside or Surfside does. It's just single rooms. But now they did. I was another thing too. They did release AP pricing.
They did.
How much was that and the difference on?
Gosh. I had booked. I remember Stella Nova I had booked for like $189 or something, regular price. And when I went to rebook it for annual pass holder pricing, it was like $120.
Yeah. Which is not bad. And even and if you think about it, now that pricing I'm sure will change when the park opens. But if you've got a pair of value hotels outside of a brand new theme park that's within walking distance, that's in the $200 range. I mean, that's not a bad price for. I mean, again, you look at Contemporary at Disney. In my opinion, you're strictly paying for location because I don't think Contemporary is really that great in terms of the theming. A lot. I mean, it's okay, but you're mostly paying for the convenience that you can walk over into Magic Kingdom. Exactly. So I think having these hotels be so close, and we'll see on Helios, but I think on Stella Nova and Terra Luna, they're going to be pretty reasonably priced. And then, you're going to be able to just walk over there. Now, I think they actually will have a bus that still goes to Epic from those two hotels.
Correct.
But it's not the closest in the world. You could walk. You could easily walk, but they will have buses that will take you from there to the other ones. Because
they're to the side, right? They're not at the entrance, like in front of the entrance. They're to the side.
Yeah, they're more kind of like facing the street. I mean, they're a little bit I'd say a little bit to the side there.
I meant like when you're looking at the the portal to enter the park, Stella Nova and Terra Luna are on the left, right?
I'm not really exactly sure exactly where they sit. I think
I'm almost positive.
Okay, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was just checking. So, all right. We're going to be talking about a little more about Epic Universe. At the New York Comic Con this past weekend, the Universal creative team gave a panel about it, and they just talked about some things that we already knew, but there's a few things that were new that we want to talk about.
Yes. So we had, I don't know if we talked about it on here, but they were going to New York Comic Con, which I think it's a pretty smart move because I think they're just trying to get the word out about the park to people who aren't theme park people, and these are people that would be interested in this stuff because it's a Comic-Con, so like Nintendo and some of these other, Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's why they're just getting the word out here. But they said the Monster Unchained queue in Dark Universe will feature jump scares, but they did not say scare actors specifically. So I don't. Now, if you remember Kong,
Reign of
Kong,
Skull Island.
When it first opened, they had scare actors in that queue. They don't anymore, but I don't think it's going to be that scenario. I'm guessing it'll be some sort of
like special effects kind of thing.
Yeah, or like animatronics perhaps or something, but there will be some scares in there. So that's kind of interesting to see that. They also said they spoke about the meet and greets being next level, using certain technology to enhance the guest experience. I don't know in terms of all of them they're talking about, but I know that in Super Nintendo World in Hollywood, they have somebody off to the side with like an iPad, and the characters will like say words, like kind of Mickey used to.
Yeah, I mean, he I forgot who was talking about this, but he said that he can't go into it. He can't elaborate.
Right.
So, but he just said they're just using technology to do it.
So I know they do that with Super Nintendo World, which I think is a really cool thing. I think it's a shame that they don't do that with Mickey anymore. They used to have that where he would talk and all that, and then they got rid of it. I can't even
get into that. That was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. And I think it's Universal. Like if you look, they're not known for meet and greets, but they are doing more of those, and those are getting more popular. So I think this is something that you've got a lot of demand for this. I think this can become a very popular thing, especially if they do have these cool interactive elements to them instead of just a normal meet and greet you do. It's got a little bit more interactivity with it. I think that could be a cool thing. They also said Hiccup and Astrid will be available for meet and greets along with Toothless, which we knew that. They had talked about that a little bit, but
so I mean, this is some of the stuff they have confirmed that we kind of saw the concept art, but like didn't really address it. So there's that. But also they said Dark Universe can be seen as a sequel to the movies,
like the old movies.
Yeah. I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, and that's an interesting. This land it's a modern day version of the movie, so it's like it's modern day, but it's kind of set in a setting that seems old timey. So it's an interesting take with that, and it's like the grandkids of the monsters and stuff like that. So
like Victoria,
it's an interesting take on that. There's some people, I don't know if I buy, but there's some people that think what Universal's doing is doing this Dark Universe this way to do a reverse IP in terms of this becomes popular and then they relaunch the movies or shows, which they could do. I mean, I've talked about a lot how, I think it's kind of a shame that all Disney does is IP-based things. And I do think if you do, now this isn't an original IP, but it's an older one. It doesn't have a massive, there's no major movies out about these things right now. So if you did perhaps
they tried.
They did try and it didn't go very well. Yeah. And if you look at that, it was called Dark Universe. Mm-hmm. So them naming this land
it's called DCU.
Yeah.
Dark Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. So them naming it this is not too subtle in the fact of like it may just be what they're going for here. This built up popularity, and then they say, okay, we got maybe it's shows on streaming or something, but maybe it's movies as well. So that could be something they're looking at doing. But
interesting.
Of all the lands, I can say I didn't care anything when I heard about monsters like Dark Universe. I just like I don't like the stuff like that. But the more we've seen about it, I'm really excited about this. Now this land will be like a PG-13ish land.
Oh yeah, at the panel they said this is not for kids.
Yeah,
so
it's not for littles, but they do have a lot of aspects. One thing I do like about Epic Universe is a lot of family stuff, especially in How to Train Your Dragon. There's a ton of stuff in there. So I obviously Super Nintendo, and then Harry Potter. I don't really know why that ride will be in terms of. I'm assuming kids will be okay to ride it. It probably depends. Yeah. We don't have a lot of details in terms of how it works.
It's magic.
I mean, kids it is like magic, but and then the carousel. So there's a lot of stuff here that is for kids. They've got the splash pad out there by the big fountain as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's exciting. Are you excited for all of these announcements and? Are you excited to go? What are you most excited for, Jared?
I mean, I am very excited about the announcements. Obviously, been following along with the construction for over, almost 2 years now of checking those out.
Oh my gosh, it's true.
Seeing I've like we said, I've never seen a park be built and open. So I feel like I know the park before it opens. So personally, when it opens, like I'm probably not gonna be too upset if I don't get to ride anything. I just want to walk around and check it all out and Be like, I remember seeing that from a helicopter view, and now it's down here. But
Yeah.
probably, I mean, I'm most excited for Super Nintendo. I've never been to any of those, and that's my nostalgia is playing Nintendo and like Donkey. I think Donkey Kong. If I'm being honest, I think the Donkey Kong area is one that I don't know if I'm more excited, but I'm equally as excited about that ride and that land.
Yeah.
But I think Super Nintendo is still the one. But I think How to Train Your Dragon, I think will be a great one for kids and families. And that land seems really really cool. But honestly, I'm excited for all of it, if I'm being honest. But what about you? Which one are you most excited for?
Probably Dark Universe. I'm not really familiar with the Fantastic Beasts movies and all this stuff with like the new Harry Potter area. So I'm not as excited for that one. I think that'll be very cool. But I was going to say Dark Universe, and probably I'm excited for Celestial Park.
I am too.
I really am.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, excited for all of them, but that's probably where my focus is.
Yeah, I mean, Celestial Park, they've talked about how every day when there's, when the sun sets, there's an evening ceremony that takes place in the park for that, and like all these other elements. And like at night, how Stardust Racers, the track's not illuminated, so the ride train has lights on it, so it's just going to look like shooting comets throughout the park and stuff like that. So a lot of these little things, I mean, it definitely seems like they told their creative team like go wild, and they really let them do it, because there's so many little things about this that I keep hearing and that they're talking about that are just so I guess you could say refreshing to see, instead of just, obviously like Universal has never been non-IP. Like they basically launched their whole thing with being like ride the movies, like be part of the movies. But what's interesting to me is they've kind of come full circle in terms of now they're being very creative, like original IP lands and all these little things. So they seem very, I guess you could say, invigorated and like very creative in terms of like all the stuff they're doing. The animatronics alone, if you looked at the preview video for Dark Universe, and they show an animatronic on the Monsters Unchained, which is the main Frankenstein ride in there, the animatronics look insanely lifelike. And I think that's the thing too, is like they were using very high end, like they said, the latest technology. They had to develop new technology for these animatronics that they're doing in a lot of these places. So I think there's a lot of things that I'm excited about the big things, but I think the little details, like a Burning Blade Tavern and the windmill that it actually has fire on it, like all these little things that are there that I'm just excited to see how they are in person.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about, man?
I don't think so. Like we talk about the EP stuff, and I think that's the biggest question still lingering is how long are the annual pass holder previews going to be? How are they going to handle those? Will they be free? I'm assuming they probably would be, but back when you were younger, I talked about this in a video on the other channel, but that there was a soft opening for Islands of Adventure that you guys got to do. Would you go for like half price or less or something like that?
Yeah, it was discounted. Just trying to get people to go in and check it out.
Yeah.
We weren't pass holders or anything. We just happened to be there.
Yeah. So they could do something like that where they have annual pass holders and maybe offer it as to the general public to come check it out at a lesser cost again, so they can work through a lot of these things. So but one thing I am curious, I'm hopeful, and I think they will be good, but it's like, is the food. Universal's been doing a lot better on the food side with the newer things, and really like even Halloween Horror Nights, like the food has gotten better. I really hope the food is really, really good. Because I feel like if the food's not great, it's obviously like it's one aspect of a theme park people enjoy. So I do hope that the food offerings are really good, and like the snacks, and I'm sure they're going to be creative with some of that stuff. But that's kind of the thing that is an unknown. But I do hope that is a good offering that they have.
All right.
But other than that, that's all I know.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Very excited. A couple of things just want to mention. So, we're toward the end of 2024. So we'll just have a couple of more episodes of Universal to go, before the end of the year. But we're going to be talking about Christmas stuff next. It's coming up.
Yes.
Let's get ready, y'all.
It's basically Christmas time for Jamie.
It's in Christmas for Universal starts November 22nd. So we'll be experiencing all of that in the next couple weeks here. But anyway, thank you for watching or listening to the show today. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, like Jared said, CTM podcast over there. Is it Cap the Magic over there for your videos?
Yes. Cap the Magic is I do 1 to 2 videos a day on theme parks or pop culture stuff there. So you can go check that out.
And we got other shows on the network. We've got the Capture the Magic Disney show we do on Thursdays. We do Trip Tales, which I do once a month. I just recorded one a week ago maybe, and I'll be releasing that next Monday. So check that out if you are interested in Trip Tales. And if you want to be a guest on the show in a future episode, you can go to ctmtriptales.com and fill out the information. And don't forget to check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. And we're Cap the Magic everywhere except for TikTok. We're Capture the Magic. I wish we could just be Cap the Magic.
I'm going to change that because it's the only one that sticks out. It's just probably not smart.
Right,
so,
that's okay. Yeah. And also, check out ctmapparelco.com for our shirts and apparel items, accessories, etc. So
yeah, you can get 15% off using the promo code FALL right now. So
nice.
15% off orders. And we will have Christmas shirts in there within a week.
Yes.
Get those new designs up there. So
yay.
Look out for Christmas shirts. And we will be doing gift cards as well. Some people ask for that over the years. So if you want to get gift cards or something like that, you can do that as well.
Yay.
And yeah. I would say we probably have a date now where we've talked about when Epic Universe is open. This show will be a weekly show. So I'm guessing around May, this will become a weekly show. Because, there's going to be a lot of things to talk about with the brand new theme park and stuff. So right now, this is twice a month, but eventually it'll just be weekly.
That's right. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, everybody out there listening or watching. And as I always like to say, we will see you in the parks.
Bye.